All right, and we are back here on the GSMC Football Podcast. And for the final part of the show, we're going to talk about Patrick Queen and his reasoning for signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, he took less money to sign with the Steelers, and this is what he had to say. So he said, from all the 15 teams that I was talking to, it came down to like 5 at the end. This is what he told Steelers DB regarding his journey in free agency. It's just like the 5 teams in the mix. Some of them were offering some $17 million per year. After that, it was like I have a chance to either go win or I have a chance to get paid. For me, the difference was like 4 or 5 million. I'm looking at it like I've never been on a losing team before, and then I also don't want to be part of anything being rebuilt because I'm trying to win now. Really trying to win right now, get that out of the way, and then get paid later. If the Steelers truly did underbid for Patrick Queen, they were lucky to lure him to the black and gold thanks to winning culture and sustained history of defensive excellence. He's coming off of a season, Patrick Queen, with a career high 133 tackles, and he's getting paired up with T.J.Watt and also another solid pass rusher for them, Alex Highsmith. So he currently slots in as the 5th highest paid linebacker on a per year basis with an average of $13.6 million. But yeah, it is. I was trying to look into like what other teams were pursuing him. I didn't really, at least like, I only scratched the surface, so I didn't really like take a huge dive into the other teams that were interested. But I guess the teams that really had interest were teams that just weren't in as good of a position as I guess the Steelers. But we'll get into that in a second. He also did say that week the Steelers, talking about playing the Ravens, that week the Steelers-Ravens week is definitely the most hype week. It's intense. Everything is at high risk. At practice, coaches are screaming and fussing and this and that because everybody knows what type of game it's going to be. Being on this side now, it's going to be the opposite. So now I'm going to be on this side doing the same stuff. I know they expect all that stuff now. Honestly, I just can't wait. For me, he also said, for me, just solidifying myself as a top 3 linebacker in the NFL, detailing. He also detailed his individual hopes for 2024. He said, there's some people saying top 3, some people saying top 10, some people saying top 7, whatever it may be. So my job this year is just to solidify top 3. No order, I don't care, as long as I solidify top 3. That's what my goal is, and what comes with is all Pro Bowl tackles, turnovers. I think turnovers is the biggest thing, getting my hand on the ball, whether that's forced fumbles, interceptions, whatever I got to do. So he had a lot to say, and I did, like I said, I wanted to touch upon what he had to say with the Steelers. He wanted to win. And when it comes to the Steelers, I think the Steelers could definitely make the playoffs. And I talked about them earlier in the show when we were discussing who could win their second Super Bowl, who's most likely to win their second Super Bowl in 2024. I think the Steelers they're still below some teams. Now, they have an elite defense led by T.J.Watt. There's no question about it. And then you got Minka Fitzpatrick back there. Like I said, Alex Highsmith is a good player. Cam Hayward on the defensive line. You know, the defense is solid, and it's been solid for years. The problem has been their offense. And it seems like when the Steelers' defense was kind of getting back to, being really good, that was when the Killer Bees all left, slowly but surely. Because you had Le'Veon Bell. He held out, went to the Jets after that, and that kind of ruined his career. And then, of course, everything with Antonio Brown happened, and then Ben Roethlisberger retired. So if they could have had the defense the way it's been playing in recent years with the Killer Bees, I mean, this team could definitely go to the Super Bowl. But now, it's a transition period with their offense. Now it's a younger team. But you have a veteran at quarterback now in Russell Wilson. And if Russell Wilson turns back the clock, which I don't think is going to happen, then yeah, I mean, the Steelers have a chance to, go far, maybe. But I don't think you're getting that Russell Wilson. Now, could the Steelers at least maybe win a playoff game? Sure. I think so. I think that's fair to say. At least winning a playoff game. Not saying they're going to go far, just at least like get out of the first round. They could do that. I think that's their ceiling for this year. So, but again, I don't really know what teams had this much interest in Patrick Queen, where he was saying, yeah, I'm not trying to be part of a rebuild. I want to win. And yeah, I mean, the Steelers, over the course of their history, yeah, they have been very successful. But in recent years, they haven't really been able to get it done. The last time they won a playoff game was back in 2016. It's been a long time. And they could end it this year, but I don't know if they're going to be able to. So it's going to be difficult. But if their offense is improved and T.J.Watt could stay healthy, yeah, maybe they could pull off an upset in the first round. Because I think they're going to come in, if they make the playoffs, they're going to go in as a wild card team. That's really what I think is going to end up happening. But, I mean, that's just my opinion on it. But linebacker's been a position that the Steelers needed to upgrade, and they're getting that with Patrick Queen. That only just makes the defense better. And I know, like, when they traded Deontay Johnson, they got Dante Jackson, a corner. I think the secondary's also been a little bit of an issue for them for years. So they're trying to improve that. Linebacker, like I said, has been an issue. Or inside linebacker. So, I mean, the defense is going to be really good. And the defense, the other thing, too, is the defense could score points. I mean, you go back to, the game against the Browns on Monday night, early on in the season. They had 2 defensive touchdowns. That defense can score points on their own. And that's great when you have a defense that could score points. That takes some pressure off your offense. Now, obviously, realistically, they're not always going to do that. But, T.J. Watt's had some defensive touchdowns in his career. I mean, Minka Fitzpatrick with the pick sixes that he's had. Yeah, defense is good. But the offense also has to be competent. And I think the offense will be okay. But in the AFC, okay is not good enough. And they play in the toughest division in football. So it'll be interesting. Now, like I've been saying, I don't want to rush the summer because I do want to see games played. I want to see how a lot of these guys that have changed teams, how they're going to do. I want to see how Russell Wilson does in Pittsburgh, Kirk Cousins in Atlanta. See Aaron Rodgers in Take Two now with the Jets. There's a lot of, and all these running backs that change teams, how are they going to do? I'm excited for it, but I just, don't want to rush the summer away. As we're getting towards June. But yeah, definitely some interesting stuff from Patrick Queen. Like I said, I only scratched the surface when it came to the teams that were interested in him. But I guess the Steelers were his best chance of winning from the teams that, were interested. So, but yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it when it comes to that. Let me know what you guys think about what Patrick Queen had to say. What are your expectations for him and the Steelers going into 2024? But yeah, that's pretty much it for the show for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to check out all the other shows as well. Greatly appreciate that. Again, I apologize for some of the technical issues throughout. But it is what it is. It happens, and bearing with me while I try to overcome this cold. But yeah, like I said, make sure to check out all the other shows. And yeah, that is all the time that we have for today. Once again, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back again tomorrow, same time, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And until then, I'm Kenneth Grunfelder signing off from the GSMC Football Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Have a good day, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Take care.